About the job point you made, Krish Lakshmikant, Managing Director of Headhunters India, bringing in specifically an expertise in job creation. Krish, your 90 seconds will begin now, but do you believe that 1 crore jobs have been generated in the country, or maybe half that amount?
Job creation has not been the kind of thing they targeted for. It has not happened for various reasons. But the fact is, whichever government comes to power, Congress, BJP, UPA, whatever it is, they cannot create jobs. That's an impossibility. We have to all live with it. But what I could see is that when I was reading some surveys in the Wall Street Journal, Economist, Times of India and all, I saw almost 58 to 60% of the people like Modi. They say Modi has done a reasonably good job. Now at the end of 4th year, if that is the kind of mark ratings he is getting, I'm sure he will win the next election. Because I can see all these people, both BJP, Congress, everybody is talking about what will happen. The second thing is, if you look at the economy has definitely grown at around 7%. It is much more than the previous 5 years. Deficit has come down below 3%. Inflation is below 4%. These are all published figures. If you take airline traffic, it has gone up by 20%. So hotel occupancy has gone up by 70%. 7% is the FMCG growth. Companies like Hindustan Lever and all that, they are growing at 7 to 8%. And most of this growth is coming from rural India, which means there is money there available. If you look at the jobs, yes, I agree with you, jobs they have not created. Right. But in the formal sector, we have been seeing that there is a sentiment. Right. We can see statistics available. About 20-25% is the growth in jobs this year compared to the previous year.
All right, your time is up. Your time is up. But I do want to invite Shailesh Gandhi, former Krish Lakshmikant, Managing Director of Headhunters India. You had a point to make. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Faye, two things. One, if you take the jobs, about 80% of the jobs are in the informal sector. They are not in the formal sector. That means people have to work. It could be the pakoda walas, which Mr. Modi talked about. It could be the chai wala somewhere down the road. But they are the people who are actually making the jobs. The 20-25% is the formal sector.
No, hang on. Krish Lakshmikant, I refuse, one second, I'm going to stop you there. I refuse to count pakoda walas and chai walas as job creation. That is not job creation. First of all, pakoda walas and chai walas occupy portions of the footpath that has not officially been given to them. They could be uprooted and tossed out anytime the local government decides to clean up that area. That is not secure. Secondly, there is child labor involved in these stalls. There are people being employed there who are not given benefits, who are worked beyond labor laws, who are not paid daily wage. We cannot, hand on our heart, count this as a government as actual job creation. That's completely unfair. Do we want pakoda shops and chai shops to mushroom on every footpath? Can we afford that? Do we want pedestrians to walk on the roads? Do we want cars to run over pedestrians? That is not an organized way to do anything. And that's a completely wrong assessment of the question of jobs. And you, of all people, should not propagate that pakoda wala idea. You know as well as I do that it's completely unfair.
I just gave an example. Exactly. You take the drivers who are working in Ola. Ola has 300,000 drivers working with them. Uber has something like 200,000. You mean to say they are the formal sector? None of them have ESI, none of them have Provident Fund.
Yes, but they're not making pakodas.
But
there is a ledger somewhere with their names against it and how much money they're making and their bank accounts to which this money is being transferred. And the fact that they're all above the age of 18 and they have licenses and they're working for a licensed company. A pakoda shop is not the same thing.
No, Faye, the Ola driver is not working for Ola. He's a contractor. If today it's become a contract economy, and these people are not counted by the government.
So you are Krish Lakshmikant on my show today as the managing director. Hang on, as the managing director of Headhunters India, Krish Lakshmikant, you are on my show today arguing that working in a pakoda shop is a job. that should be counted as on behalf of the government of India as job creation. That's your argument.
It's not a job, it's a form of employment.
No, I didn't say that. I said Modi said that.
Because companies like his, which have huge NPS, don't create jobs.
See, the
Because
point
Modi
is,
has no answers. Modi has no solutions.
if you take Flipkart, madam,
Modi says you
Flipkart
should have
has
a
got
pawn
some
shop.
30,000 people who are supplying, who are in the supply chain. They are not the employees of Flipkart. The same is with Swiggy. Swiggy
how
has some
many
25,000
people have they
people working,
displaced?
but they are not on the rolls
How
of
many
Swiggy.
retail shops have they displaced?
Right,
From
Mr.
there-
Guruswamy, please. Mr. Guruswamy, go ahead. Mr.
many
Guruswamy,
bottles
go
are
ahead.
Nothing much has happened so far.
Mr. Guruswamy, go ahead.
You know this.
Mr.
all these
Guruswamy, I
things-
wanted to
no,
tell you
even
one thing.
Ola has
There is
taken
something called,
1.6
you are an
lakh
economist.
jobs.
You should know about
No,
universal
what?
basic income, Mr. Guruswamy. You are talking of subsidy. Why are you not talking of UBI?
I know
It
about
is there
universal
now coming
basic-
across the
we
world.
don't-
Why don't you talk about that?
Fair one.
Time for a report card and a review. So we've broken this up in order to make it fairly simple. We're looking at 4 main areas. But I want to remind you of the last 4 years, viewers. We started off talking about smart cities, housing for all by 2022, Skill India, Stand Up India, Digital India, Swachh Bharat. There were a lot of acronyms that we worked with. Digital India, we had demonetization, we had GST. There was a lot of movement. If anything, this government can never be criticized of policy paralysis. This is the opposite of paralysis. The government has kept us guessing, and there have been new programs and ideas and announcements that came over the last 4 years that completely kept us on our toes. The question that we're asking today is, how did the Modi government do over the last 4 years in 4 specific areas? And these are the areas: jobs, farmers and agriculture, prices and Menghai, and infrastructure. And the reason why we've picked these 4 areas over all of the others is because these were specific promises made by the BJP when it came into power, and specific promises that they've continued to make over the last 4 years. Now, in order to keep this a structured and a clean debate, we have, of course, buzzers that will go off. Each member of the panel will be given 90 seconds, so a minute and a half, to make their opening arguments, after which you will hear a bell. And you will also be given a minute and a half each to make your rebuttals to the person you disagree with, after which you will hear a bell as well. This will ensure that everybody in the audience can understand your arguments and appreciate them, as opposed to what happens when people talk over each other. But the reason why we're doing a buzzer debate is because of the quality of the panel that we've put together. Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Yogendra Yadav, national president of the Swaraj Abhiyan, Mohan Guruswamy, senior economist and chairperson at the Centre for Policy Alternatives, Shailesh Gandhi, former Central Information Commissioner, Sanjay Jha for the Congress Party, Krish Lakshmikant, managing director at Headhunters India. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said,
Sound
a
is not
minute and
very
a half
clear.
to each panelist to make their opening arguments, and the questions are fairly simple. How do you believe the Modi government has done in the last 4 years, specific to do with jobs, farmers, prices and infrastructure? You can pick any one of these 4 topics and start. You could also tell us whether you believe the government has done well, whether the government has failed, or it's been strictly average. I'm going to start with Mr.